What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Tradernometry. So today we're going to be breaking down how I utilize supply and demand zones and find key levels to actually trade off every single day. And this is how I do it personally, right? I see a lot of people do it different ways and stuff. This is how I like to mark off my zones and basically just see where price has been, where it's going to, and how I can execute from those supply and demand levels. So this is a 10-minute chart. So I use 10-minute for execution as well as the 3-minute if I'm looking for the lower time frame. So as a trader, I like to start on the daily time frame if I'm looking to find levels that are of interest for me. And depending on your circumstances and kind of what you're looking for, you can go as far back in time as your charts will allow, right? So what I'm looking at is, of course, today is April 24th, 23rd. It's a Thursday, and we've had this low in March of this year, and then let's look for this year, right? And then I'll show you exactly what I do. And in January, we had this high right here. So for me, this level is interesting right here because this was the high in January, and I'll show you exactly why this is interesting and why we're pulling it across. So we're doing this. Let's move it up a little bit to kind of match what is going on. So let's do this. Pull this up a little bit. We can leave this here. Pull this across, that's fine. Okay, so this is the high in January, and then, the high of 2026, let's say it like that. And then this is, of course, that we know, this is the low of 2026. So this high becomes a supply, and I'll show you why this changes in a minute. So this high becomes a supply, this low becomes a demand. And we can refine this to see where buyers and sellers have interacted the most during this period or any other period. So let's go, we won't go anything further than 2024. No, 2025. Yeah, 2025. And we'll just use this double top as an example, right? This double top is our last example, and we're not going to go any further than this. And we can already see why supply and demand levels and key levels are important, and we should be marking them out every single day. So now let's go back to this one. You see all this sideways action, price just going sideways. So this was in October 2025. This was a low in November 2025. And then we came close to it again in December 2025. We flushed, and then in January of the new year, we made a new high. So, like I said, this area is interesting for two reasons. Let me show you. So if this never happened, and we just put this across like this, we could at some point anticipate that price is going to come back up here, and we're going to basically reject this level and probably go back down. And similarly, this level up here, this high up here, you can think we're going to come up here and we're going to be breaking down and going back down to the downside. Maybe, potentially, correct? But what we see on the daily is that price actually broke above it, retested it, and continued pushing higher. Now, similarly to this one, price got up to this level, broke it, retested it. You can say this was the rejection. This is the daily chart candle. You can say on this day, which was April 21st, on this day, it actually rejected and came back down. So if you was day trading this, price moved down 336 points. So we got the rejection, but it was short-lived. And price actually came back up again, pushed up, broke it, this exact zone, retested it, and now price is above it. Let's do some more. So now this is what I would call supply turning into demand, because we broke above it, came back based, and then retested it. So supply has now turned into demand, even though it's being done by one candle, it seems. Anyway, so let's continue. Let us continue. So the way I like to do this, if I'm intraday trading, I'm not going to be going back too far, because, you know, we might not hit those levels. For example, like this level down here, this was the low of 2025, April 2025. This was the low. From the low of March 2025 to March 2026 to April 2025, so a year before, we have moved up over 5,000 points. So this level, although you could say, yeah, this is a key level, I don't actually expect price to come back down to this level. So once I find levels that are interesting to me on the higher time frame, I will then break this down some more. And I think another key level would be this one right here. Why is this level of interest to me? This is all green. So why is this level of interest to me? So price came up to this area. So after breaking, remember we were saying about this previous level and this previous level, price broke above these two double tops, based and pushed up. And although it failed and came back, it literally came back to where sellers were. So supply turned to demand, pushed up. And then when we made this high, price rejected it and it fell. Yeah. So this level was important because not only did we reject this, but we broke it, based, pushed up, came back to the same area, pushed up, made new highs, came back to the same area. Buyers were still respecting this area, and anyone going short got absolutely slammed. Respected it, and you can just see how this level has been respected until it eventually failed. And what I would then do is I would break down to the 4 hour, and I would see what levels are key and most interesting for me. And although this level is of interest, I would actually delete this level, and I would put this level, I would do this like this. So even though this is a big zone, you know, we can see we made this high here, came back and tapped into it, pushed down, and we was in this zone for a long period of time, and now we're pushing out of that. And so this is the 4 hour. We can refine this some more, so you'd have to zoom in a little bit. I would actually keep this here like this because I like how this price action has been respecting this area on the 4 hour, and we will just keep it just like that. So, and then what I like to do is I go down to the 1 hour. This is how we refine supply and demand even more to make it even cleaner. So on the 1 hour chart, so this looks great on the 1 hour chart. What I would then do in order for us to refine this, because now you see this is a daily zone, right? This is a daily zone. I'm now looking to refine this because that's a big area. This is now the 1 hour time frame, and I'm looking to refine this level, meaning that if we come back to this area, I'm going to take a trade 9 times out of 10 if I'm on the charts and I see it, because if we come up here, then yeah, we're likely going to reject it. And sure enough, you see what happened? We came up to the area. This is the hourly chart, and then we came back down. Came up to the area, came back down. Came up to the area, came back down. And then sellers have now turned into buyers. We broke it, we retested it, and now we are pumping and going to the upside, making new all-time highs. So on the hourly chart, I really like to spend some time here refining where buyers and sellers are, where they have been, etc., etc. So we can see here on this level, right here on the hourly, if we push this across and we zoom in, we look at how price action, if price action respected this area, came up very short-lived. Now this was in an overnight session, and we just see continuation in the overnight session. So doesn't really respect it too much. Oh crap. Doesn't really respect it too much. But I know that if price was to come back down to this area, after having done this, rejection, likely price is going to bounce in this level right here. So I have that right there. And what I like to check as well is pull this across. Has it been respected anywhere else? Has it been respected anywhere else? And the answer is clearly yes. Yes. So we could have seen, if we bring this up here like this level has been rejection, buyers turn into it, rejection. It's been respected. It's an area that's been respected plenty of times. And so I do that for all the key areas. And we're not done there. We are not done there. What I would then look at is I would refine it some more, meaning I would then, after the hourly, go down to the 15-minute time frame, and this becomes more precise, and it's where you take your time really and truly. So instead of having a zone that looks like this on the 15, because if I go to the 10-minute now, it becomes an entire zone, and we can refine this some more. So we could put this, if we just delete this, we could put this, and then we know, like right here, we know right there, this is how we refine it. Same zone, same area, just refining on the lower time frames to make your entries more precise and to see kind of what you're looking at more precisely. So on the 10-minute, let's go to the 15 again. So on the 15-minute, I like this, but I would only be able to get here and know that these levels are interesting from looking at the higher time frames. So if we can see some more, so for example, this one, I know, let's, we used to do this. I want to keep this here. Let's do 636.75 to 700. So 0.50 refined. Okay, you see how this level has been respected. It looks much cleaner. It's respected. Shorts in this area, sellers in this area, push down. And although it never gave it here, I know at some point if price was to come back down into this area, this would be a strong demand zone in order for me to go long in this area. Similarly with this one, this area, going long in this area right here, this is my supply, again right here. So price pushed up, supply rejection, pushed up, broke it, retested it. Supply turned into demand, and so if price comes back down here, I know this is an area in which there were previous buyers, and we could look to take this area long. Same thing here. So after it pushed above this previous supply, it turned into demand, it pushed up, made a new supply, came down, and again, although it never respected it the first time, the second time it came into this area, let's zoom in on this. The second time it came into this area, it respected it once. So it respected it one time here, twice here, 3 times here. And so we have to respect these supply and demand levels when they occur. and now we're at all-time highs right now. So we just have to just wait, be patient, see what the market wants to do, and create new levels based on price action that's happening. And the market is going to be moving choppy and kind of sideways like this. We just have to play the ranges and protect capital and just be disciplined, really, to not yearn for more or want more. So if we was to break down the 10-minute chart now, and what we can see is, let's use Tuesday the 21st as an example. So after we've mapped out, so this level was previous supply now turned into demand. So it broke above it, retested it, pushed up, made new highs. If we was to play the range and say, oh, hold on, market just opened, we're coming down into a major level. This is Monday, April 20th. This rejection level has now turned into a demand. So if price comes down into this area, I'm actually going to be looking long, and I'm looking again back into this previous supply, which is up here. So if you was to go from here, I'm taking this long and I'm looking for supply, which is up here. Now, if you're day trading or even swing trading, you know that you're having profit targets back into these areas here, or back into these previous demands up here. So you wouldn't be holding all the way up. And the next trading session, if you say, oh yeah, we have a supply up here, you can play the range and say, I'm going to take profits once we get back down into this demand area here. And that's how you can play it, and that's how you can profit off of it. And we're going to leave it there. This is how we use supply and demand zones in Tradernometry to make money. Now, of course, I do refine this and more. This is just a quick example to show you how I do it and how you can get started doing this. Anyway, I hope this video has helped you. If you have any questions, or if you just do supply and demand differently, then drop a like and drop a comment, and I will get back to you. So let's leave it there, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace and love.